What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Marks. So it's ended down at the City Ground. Newcastle United 3, Nottingham Forest 1. And I've got to say, it is well deserved that we came away on the end of a 3-0 win in this game. After what went on in that game today, it was quite obvious that Anthony Taylor had his favourites. He wanted to come away from that game with the result, and it was clearly not Newcastle United. The amount of bad decisions Anthony Taylor made in that game, that guy should not be reffing another game involving Newcastle United ever again, in my opinion. What a dodgy referee. The first of the incidents, which you can immediately call to, was Ryan Yates with the elbow on Tino Livramento. I mean, that in itself right there, he had a clear vision of it and he still ignored it. And then when it got to the back end of the match, in the second half, Ryan Yates was calling for a second yellow card to be given to Dan Burn. And you can clearly see, Anthony Taylor react to that, and he'd already been given a yellow at that point as well by the time he did ask for that, so he should have been off asking for the card. But you could see the reaction from Anthony Taylor. He goes, "What for what you did, after what you did up there?" And he literally reacted to saying that he should have been sent off for the incident that he did on Tino Livramento in the first half. Not to mention the incident that he did on Sean Longstaff as well, where the boot was very high. Ryan Yates can literally thank his lucky stars that he was not sent off in that game today, because there was 3 incidents where he should have been seeing a red card. But moving away from that, they ended up getting a goal as well to open the score in Nottingham Forest. Murillo scoring the goal, and again, it was off of an incident where, Ryan Yates was involved again. He seemed to be the pantomime villain today for Nottingham Forest and for the game. He seemed to be the pantomime villain today down at the City Ground. And they ended up getting a corner, what they shouldn't have been given, off of the undercarriage of Yates. It should have been Newcastle's goal kick. And then the ball gets floated in. Nottingham Forest score off of it, so that's not great. Off of a goal, off of a corner that shouldn't have been given. They're scoring and they're taking the lead in the game. Then you see Anthony Taylor making umpteen bad decisions in the game, and he was just really poor in the game. Then, we get our chance to get back into it, and brilliant goal. Newcastle open, scoring to get it back level. Brilliant goal in the game by Isak. Then we'll see Harvey Barnes coming on as a substitute. He scores a brilliant goal. Joe Linton, of course, scored a brilliant goal as well in the game for we, and we'll win the game 3-1 against Nottingham Forest, and we fully deserved it. Looking at the stats, looking at what we did in the game, we dominated possession, we dominated the play in the game. Nottingham Forest got very lucky against the run of play and heavily influenced by the referee's decisions. Goal from Murillo, and that on any other day could have been the matter of them picking up 3 points in the game, but our lads held in strong, put their heads down, got to work, even when there was more than just the 11 men against we in that game today, and we'll come away with a result. And that's what great teams do. That is what the big teams do. They go out there and they get the results when it's all against them, and that's what we did today in this game against Nottingham Forest. We put our heads down, we continued on, even though there was more than 11 men against we, and we still came out on top. So basically a big fuck you to Anthony Taylor for how one-sided he was today, and we climbed to 8th in the Premier League table. Nottingham Forest, of course, remain 3rd in the table, but their 4-game winning streak has now come to an end. And I did say in my preview going into this one that we would be the spanner in the works for Nottingham Forest. We are a fantastic team against Nottingham Forest, and if you look at the history of Newcastle playing Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, we've only ever really lost one game against them in the Premier League, and that was, of course, the game where Chrissy Wood scored the hat-trick against Newcastle. So, you know, the odds were always in our favour on that side of things, but the referee tried his damned best today to try and take Newcastle United down, and it did not work. So, big fuck you to Anthony Taylor, and we move on with 3 points in the bag, well deserved. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Of course, we're now heading to the international break. When we do come back, we will be playing, of course, West Ham in that game. So that'll be an interesting one to see how we'll go about that game. But as for this game today, it is 3 points in the bag for Newcastle, and like I say, fully deserved. Till next time, see you later, and how are the lads.